Welcome to Art with Kenneth and the Art History Show on the KJL Podcast Channel. In this episode, artist Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. brings to life the image of a man whose quiet strength reshaped the world. Not through force, not through power, but through truth, discipline, and unshakable conviction. This is the portrait of Mahatma Gandhi. As Kenneth paints, stroke by stroke, a story unfolds alongside the image. A story of a man who wore simple cloth while standing against an empire. A man who showed that real courage does not shout. It stands firm in silence. On this 48 by 60-inch canvas, the face of Gandhi begins to emerge. Not just as a historical figure, but as a symbol of moral strength that still speaks to the world today. This is Gandhi. Courage in cloth and conviction. As the portrait develops in Kenneth's studio, the life of Mahatma Gandhi comes into focus. Gandhi was born in 1869 in Porbandar, India, into a world shaped by tradition and colonial rule. He was not born into power. He was not raised as a warrior or a ruler. He was quiet, thoughtful, often unsure of himself. Few would have imagined that this gentle young man would one day become the moral center of a global movement. Gandhi's path changed when he traveled to South Africa as a young lawyer. There, he faced racism that shook him deeply. He was thrown off a train for refusing to give up his seat, denied lodging, humiliated simply for existing. Those moments awakened something within him. From that injustice, a new belief was born. That oppression could be confronted without hatred. That injustice could be resisted without violence. That truth itself could become a force stronger than any weapon. Gandhi called this satyagraha, the power of truth. As Kenneth continues shaping this portrait, the calm strength in Gandhi's face reflects that philosophy. A man who believed that real change begins not with anger, but with discipline of the soul. When Gandhi returned to India, he did not dress like a leader of power. He chose simplicity. He chose homespun cloth. He chose to live as the poorest among his people so that no one could say he stood above them. That cloth became a message. It spoke of self-reliance in a land flooded with foreign goods. It spoke of dignity in a system designed to deny it. It spoke of unity in a nation divided by fear. Gandhi walked from village to village, listening to farmers, workers, and families worn down by generations of rule. He did not promise quick victory. He promised discipline. He promised sacrifice. He promised that freedom would demand strength of spirit. One of his most powerful acts was the Salt March. A long journey to the sea where he and his followers made salt in defiance of unjust laws. No weapons. No violence. Just thousands of people standing together in peaceful resistance. The world watched as a man in simple cloth shook an empire. As this painting continues to take form under Kenneth's hand, the story of that courage settles into the canvas. Not the courage of fists, but the courage to endure. Gandhi was imprisoned many times. He endured hunger. He endured isolation. He endured ridicule. Yet he never abandoned his belief that hatred only multiplies suffering, and that love and truth could transform even the hardest hearts. He fasted to stop violence among his own people. He called for unity when division felt easier. He demanded more from himself than from anyone else. And still, he remained human. He wrestled with doubt, with mistakes, with the burden of leading millions. But he always returned to truth, always refined his life into an example of what he believed the world could become. In 1947, India achieved independence. But freedom came with pain, division, violence. Gandhi walked into that chaos calling again for peace, even when peace seemed impossible. In 1948, he was assassinated. A man who lived by nonviolence was taken by violence. But his message did not die. As Kenneth brings this portrait closer to completion, it stands as a reminder that true power does not come from control, but from conscience. That leadership does not demand dominance, but discipline. That freedom is earned through moral courage. This is one of the things Art with Kenneth, Art History Show on the KJL Podcast Channel is about. Not just painting faces, but telling stories. Bringing history into the present through paint, texture, and reflection. This portrait began the way many of Kenneth's works begin, with atmosphere before detail. A light pink ground was laid across the canvas, made from titanium white acrylic mixed with crimson. A soft warmth to set the emotional tone beneath everything that would follow. Over that surface, the image was first sketched in crimson. Loose lines. Simple marks. Just enough to map the face and guide the structure without forcing it. From there, an acrylic wash was added across the canvas. Yellow ochre. Burnt sienna. Titanium white, placed in different areas to break the surface, create movement, and let color begin to live inside the form before the oils ever touched it. Once the foundation was set, the painting moved fully into oil. Using Winsor and Newton paints in that same limited palette, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and titanium white, the portrait began to take on depth and weight. No extra colors. Just discipline. Letting warmth, shadow, and light come from the mixing, not from shortcuts. Kenneth built the image layer by layer, allowing the face, head, and neck to emerge first, then shaping the simple wrap of cloth, and finally bringing harmony to the background. Semi-heavy texture was left visible, so every stroke could carry energy, movement, and the human presence behind the work. This limited palette and layered approach were intentional. The warmth of the earth tone speaks to humility. The simplicity reflects restraint. And the visible texture mirrors the quiet strength and conviction that defined the life of Mahatma Gandhi. Now the portrait of Mahatma Gandhi stands complete. A 48 by 60-inch canvas filled with warmth, texture, and quiet presence. The face steady. The eyes calm. The simple cloth rendered not as decoration, but as meaning. The background holding the figure in light rather than shadow. The surface carries the memory of every layer beneath it. The soft pink ground still breathing through the warmth. The earth tones rising forward. Yellow ochre and burnt sienna shaping the form. Titanium white lifting the highlights into the light. Nothing flashy. Nothing forced, just honest color built through restraint. The texture tells its own story. Thick where strength lives. Subtle where calm settles in. The strokes remain visible, reminding the viewer that this image was formed by hand, by presence, by intention. It feels worked. It feels lived in. It feels human. The face does not confront the viewer with anger. It meets them with patience. The eyes seem to carry both the weight of suffering and a calm of acceptance. There is no drama in the expression. Only resolve. Only quiet knowing. The cloth wraps the figure in simplicity. Built from layered whites warmed by the tones beneath, it becomes more than fabric. It becomes a symbol of humility, of discipline, of a life stripped of excess so that conviction could stand alone. The background glows with warmth rather than darkness. It does not push forward. It supports. It holds the figure the way Gandhi's principles held his life. Steady. Unmoving. Present without demand. This finished work reflects the spirit of the man it honors. Not loud. Not forceful. But unwavering. Kenneth wanted this painting to feel the way Gandhi's life felt. Simple on the surface, deep in conviction. A reminder that real courage does not always come with noise. Sometimes it comes wrapped in cloth and guided by truth. This portrait is not just a likeness. It is a meditation. On restraint in a world addicted to force. On humility in a culture chasing power. On the bravery it takes to live exactly as you believe, even when the cost is high. From Art with Kenneth and the Art History Show on the KJL Podcast Channel, this is Gandhi. Courage in Cloth and Conviction.
Thank you for joining me today on the KJL Podcast Channel. Your time, support, and creativity mean the world to me. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps keep this artistic journey alive and thriving. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a brushstroke, story, or inspiring moment. Your encouragement fuels the art, podcast, and everything we create together. Stay inspired, stay curious, and remember, every masterpiece begins with a single brushstroke. Until next time, this is Kenneth J. Sr. signing off from the KJL Podcast Channel. See you soon.